Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G versus the Samsung Galaxy A52 4G. Hey guys, what's up? I am back with a brand new video and it's time to do a speed test comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G versus the Samsung Galaxy A52 4G. A52 is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G chipset, which is based on 8nm architecture, and also we have 8GB of RAM, while on the Samsung A52s 5G we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset, which is based on 6nm architecture, and also we have 8GB of RAM. On the back we have a quad cameras on both phones. We have a 64 megapixel main camera with the optical image stabilization. Then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. We also have a 5 megapixel macro and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. Although the back is made up of plastic on both phones, as well as the frame of this phone. On the front we have a Corning Gorilla Glass version 5, so that's really good thing, and both phones also has a dual speakers. On the bottom we also have a headphone jack on both phones. So in this video I'm gonna show you how much a difference between a Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset versus a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G chipset inside the A52. So without any wasting time, let's get right into it. Like always, now let's see the boot up test. Here we go. Also we have Android 11 on both phones with One UI version 3.1, and the logo feels a little more faster on the A52s 5G, which is obvious. And the processor on the A52s 5G, it is a really powerful chipset. A52s 5G faster when it comes to booting up. A52 is take a lot of time, and you can see now the A52 it is also done, and you can see about 8 or 9 second difference between these two devices when it comes to booting up. Now let's talk about the display between these two devices, and both phones has a 6.5-inch Full HD Super AMOLED display with 90Hz refresh rate on the A52 4G, while on the A52s 5G we have 120Hz refresh rate, and that's really big difference. On the front we also have a punch hole on the center, which looks exactly the same. Also, and the bottom chin also exactly the same on both phones. No difference in terms of the display except the 120Hz refresh rate on the A52s 5G. Everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background, and also we have same Wi-Fi network on both phones. And the first application we have is the phone dialer, more faster on the A52s 5G. So next on the list is the settings. Let's see who is going to be the fastest one. Again, exactly the same on both phones. Now let's go to the display, and you can see we have 90Hz refresh rate on the A52, while on the A52s 5G we have 120Hz refresh rate. Also, and the 90Hz on the A52 it is stable as the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. Now let's check out some more application. Now let's start off with the Amazon shopping on both phones. Again, we have a Snapdragon 720G versus a Snapdragon 778G 5G, a little bit more faster on the A52s 5G. So now let's see the scrolling. Yes, I can see the 90Hz refresh rate as compared to 120Hz refresh rate. Madness on the A52s 5G feels more smoother on the A52s 5G. Now let's check out some games application. Now let's start off with the Candy Crush Saga. And you can see at the Snapdragon 778G 5G, A52s 5G, little bit more faster there, but about half a second difference there, not huge difference. So that's really interesting. Instagram faster on the A52s 5G. Let's see Pinout faster, and you can see on the A52s 5G as compared to the A52. And also we see a lot of lags on the A52 while I'm using this phone, while on the A52s I didn't see any lag because we have a Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset, which is a really powerful chipset in my opinion. Let's see Snapchat faster again. Let's see Spotify. That is very similar on both phones. Let's see Subway Surfer. Again we have a Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset versus a Snapdragon 720G, which is a really mid-range level chipset, very old chipset as well, faster on the A52s 5G. Let's see Temper and 2 on both phones. and again more faster, and you can see super faster on the A52 as 5G as compared to the A52, and you can see in heavy application the difference between A52 as 5G and A52 it is more and more. Let's see PUBG Mobile on both phones. Last game application we have in this speed test, and also in the gaming experience it is more better on the A52 as 5G because we have a Snapdragon 778G chipset, faster on the A52 as 5G, and the A52 also right behind there, about 1 or 2 second difference there. Now let's open the AnTuTu Benchmark on both phones, and A52 faster there as compared to the A52 as 5G, and you can see we have a 57% on the A52, while on the A52s we have a 76% battery percentage on the A52 as 5G. Now let's run at the same time. Let's see that how much difference between A52 versus A52 as 5G in terms of the benchmark scores. Yes, I don't believe in AnTuTu benchmark score, but I want to show you that how much is A52 as faster as compared to the A52. Okay guys, I'm back, and the A52 as 5G is done. We have a 4,66,000 score on the Samsung Galaxy A52 as 5G. You can see the CPU as well as the GPU. Temperature is goes up by a 2%. And the A52 also done, and you can see we have a 3,25,000 scores on the A52, and you can see we have 1,50,000 more score on the A52 as 5G, and the temperature on the A52 is goes by a 1.5 degrees Celsius as compared to a 2 degrees on the A52 as 5G. Now let's opening up the Twitter. Faster on the A52 as 5G. Now let's open this Zedge, and that is faster little bit on the A52 as 5G. So now let's see the scrolling. Again, very smooth on both phones. Again, we have 90 Hz refresh rate as compared to 120 Hz refresh rate on the A52 as 5G. So last time launching the cameras on both phones, default camera app. Now let's see that which one is going to be the fastest one. That is exactly the same on both phones, no difference there. Also you can see that the battery percentage on the A52 we have a 53%, while on the A52s we have a 72%. So you guys are a judge of the battery drain in the AnTuTu benchmark as well. Now let's see internet browser speed. I am seeing default Samsung internet browser on both phones. Now let's open the wikipedia.org. Faster little bit on the A52 as 5G. So now let's see the scrolling, and I see little bit lag in the start on the A52, while on the A52s I didn't see the lag. Now let's open this English, and that one faster, exactly the same on both phones. Let's see the scrolling, and again feels a little more smoother on the A52 as 5G. Yes, I can see the difference because I already using the A52. Now let's open the Galaxy Shop.pk, and faster again on the A52 as 5G. So now let's see the scrolling. Again, very smooth on both phones, a little more smoother on the A52 as 5G, but it is not a deal breaker. Yes, under 90 Hz on the A52 it is not as stable as the A52 as 5G 120 Hz refresh rate. Now let's see RAM management on both phones, and both phones has a 8 GB of RAM. Now let's see that who is perform good in the RAM management. I open a lot of apps. Now let's see that who is good in the RAM management. Phone dialer, that is seems like refresh on the A52s. Let's see settings, no refresh. Amazon shopping, and that got refresh on both phones. Let's see Candy Crush Saga, refresh on both phones. Instagram, that is not refresh. In-app refresh. Let's see Pinout, that got refresh on the A52 as 5G. So now let's see Snapchat, no refresh. Let's see Spotify, no refresh. Let's see Subway Surfer, no refresh. Let's see Temper N2, no refresh. Let's see PUBG Mobile, same result. Let's see AnTuTu, and that got refresh on both phones, no refresh on both phones. Let's see Twitter, no refresh. Zedge, that is in-app refresh on the A52s 5G. Last we are back to the internet browser where we left, and you can see, and that's what I have to say regarding the app's opening speed. As you can see that, and the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G is perform more faster in game map loading time, like in heavy stuff. A52 it is not as fast as the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G because we have a better chipset on the A52s 5G, and both phones also has a in-display fingerprint scanner. Now let's see the fingerprint scanner speed, and the fingerprint scanner speed also little bit more faster on the A52s 5G. As you can see, now let's talk about the battery sizes between these devices, and both phones has a 4500 mAh battery size with a 15-watt adapter in the box. But the A52 as well as the A52s 5G, and both phones also support a 25-watt super fast charger as well. Also we have an IP67 water and dust resistance on both phones. So only difference between these two devices is the refresh rate, 90Hz, 120Hz, as well as the processor. We have a Snapdragon 720G versus a Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G versus the A52. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel for the retech videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.